Peter Navarro from Mar-a-Lago. We know that because of the tan. Good to see you. Welcome back to the swamp.
It's good to be with you.
Take us inside Mar-a-Lago.
Sure.
Is there a different willingness to fight, take risks, and then fight for those risks 2024 versus 2016?
If you go back to 2016, we were very low on the learning curve, and there was just a lot of bad people coming in and out. We couldn't figure out who were the good guys, who were the bad guys. A lot of mistakes were made. This time, the boss, he's at the top of the learning curve, and he's ready to soar. He knows what he wants, who he wants, and he wants people who will embrace the MAGA principles.
I get that he wants that, and obviously we've talked through for the past couple of weeks about the nominations, and he's spoken to that. But I sense a difference in how they're approaching the confirmation fights, that there's a willingness to knock heads, twist arms, play bad cop that there wasn't in 2016.
I can't really comment on that, but personnel's policy, from a policy point of view, what I do know is that Pete Hegseth, for example, the Department of Defense, is perfect for policy. What we've had in the past for many, many years now is these endless wars. Donald Trump wants to end endless wars.
I get the reason, but the fact that Donald Trump went to war, so to speak, at the end of last week for Pete Hegseth, things have changed. We put up the list of the nominees that have come so far. Obviously, Matt Gaetz, I know a friend of yours, bowed out. He's now going to be hosting his own show on a different network. The nominee for the DEA said, never mind, I'm out, or Donald Trump pulled the rug out, you might say, from under him. The question is, was there a realization in Mar-a-Lago, this was our reporting, that we've got to fight, otherwise we're going to start losing all the people that you talked about for policy?
Yeah, I'm not going with your premise here that Donald Trump went to war. What Donald Trump is simply doing, it's a beautiful thing to watch. He's just being Donald Trump and explaining what the realities are. And I think what's different now is he won in a landslide. He has a right to his nominees. The Senate has an important role in terms of confirmation. But look, if Pete Hegseth is qualified to do the job, they should certainly appoint him. So it's just, this is just such a different atmosphere since we've ever had. This is a landslide. The country is in deep trouble, and we've got to solve all sorts of problems. So whether you go to DHS and Kristi Noem and Tom Homan, or whether you go to the Pentagon with Pete Hegseth, whether you deal with some of the trade issues, the new guy at Treasury, Scott Bessent, is perfect for that job. The boss is picking people in a way that...
So you notice a difference in how he's approaching?
Huge, huge. He knows who he wants, and he knows who he wants because he knows what he wants. And that's the learned experience.
And is there less of a willingness to be swayed? I understand, look, advising consent, but is there less of a willingness to take into account what other parts of the Republican Party may feel?
Certainly the rhino wing, as we know it, the wing that wants to send our jobs offshore, that wants open borders, and that has endorsed the endless wars, they have no say. They have no say.
And there's a willingness now to go up against them if there wasn't.
Of course.
How would you describe that? Take me inside Mar-a-Lago and explain how that's played.
Well, it's more important to go inside the transition office, which is across the bridge from Mar-a-Lago. Sergio Gore, who I have great regard for, is running that with a lot of really good people in there. And what they're doing is going about the business of running people through. Everybody who's coming in gets 3 different interviews. Pete was there himself. The Secretary Bessent's there. The secretaries are here. And it's just working. They're weeding out the people who shouldn't be there. They're figuring out the people who should be there. And that's, I mean, that's night and day from 2016. It's just a beautiful thing to watch. So one of the people who's now
omnipresent.
It's so impressive.
You don't use that word lightly. One of the people who's omnipresent now is Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Page 6, the New York Post. Elon Musk wanting to buy the late beauty mogul Seidel Miller's Lux apartment. We don't have a picture of the apartment, but it's reported to be $100 million. You've probably been part of Trump world and a trusted member of Trump world longer than almost anybody. I remember interviewing you in 2015 when there was only a couple of you guys, and you've stuck around through the whole time. Do you see Elon Musk sticking around and being accepted into Trump world for the long run?
Let me tell you what I think is the important of Elon and Vivek in terms of what they're doing. We've got a tremendous inflation problem. and we've got a tremendous budget deficit problem. And what Elon and Vivek are doing can solve both of those problems, at least partly.
I get all that, but
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.